This presentation is the overview of areas of vulnerability that could be exploited in the SpaceX Starlink system.
The potential areas of attack for SpaceX Starlink are phishing, DDoS, mimicking field users, and insider threat. We will get further into detail for the next few slides. The attack tree details the attack and what we should do on the entire system to infiltrate the system, which is broken down into 5 components: reconnaissance, weaponization, initial access, exploit, and execute. Reconnaissance is to do some snooping and find out as much information there is on the system as possible. Weaponization means to prepare what is going to be attacked.
The next three, the first one is initial access or delivery. This is our entry point into the Starlink system, or how we're actually getting into the system. Then the next one is exploit. This is using our entry from initial access to develop a pathway to our final target. And then execute, which is our actual attack on the system.
What is phishing? The purpose of phishing is to be able to capture credentials, data, and information of individuals, usually performed through social engineering through deception, to make the users feel that everything is legit. Normally, the target is individuals, but the effects could spread like wildfire out to larger entities such as companies or agencies. It is super easy to initiate, but the ramifications are immense to security, databases, finances, proprietary information, and many more. The potential areas for phishing are generating spam emails that look legitimate. The target size is massive, but you should get a few hits out of all the attempts. The second one is to generate a fake domain to deceive individuals that the site is legitimate to get their money. A way to mitigate this would have multi-factor authentication, such as a RSA token, where they generate a new code every minute, and the code can only be used once. This slide shows the similarities between the fake and the authentic site, with slight differences between the two.
What is denial of service attacks, or DDoS? DDoS attacks are meant to disrupt user access to a system. These work by flooding a system with a large amount of requests or information to overwhelm or slow a system. In the Starlink system, this attack would be aimed at the ground segment, to disrupt web information from reaching the end user. In this sense, the user segment would also be disrupted. Mitigations are made to deal with incoming threats by early detection, firewalls to block an attack either before or after one's been initiated, or being able to effectively absorb a flood of packets during the attack.
Mimicking the field users. Why is this an area of exploit? Is because the hardware is all COTS, commercial off the shelf, which means anyone can purchase and reverse engineer the components and hardware, the unit, to attempt to slip through the cracks, and they're able to perform unlimited amount of testing on the hardware as long as nothing is damaged. There was an actual instance that this occurred at the Black Hat event, where a Belgian security researcher glitched the hardware to bypass certain parts of the code to gain full access of the antenna. He performed the glitch by loading modified firmware after he gained full control of the antenna. The glitch was performed by interrupting power to the antenna's CPU for a short period of time to disrupt certain sequences in the entire processing. Initially, he reversed engineered the Starlink field user antenna, but it was too expensive, so he replicated the same antenna by using a Raspberry Pi, which cost $25. This was, however, patched, but not by software, but by upgrading the hardware, and it is performed by blowing the fuse on the dish and permanently disabling the serial output.
Insider threat. A much more hands-on approach would be an insider attack. In this way, an employee or ex-employee would be approached to gain information on operations, data, credentials, etc. This is reward rich, but also prone to blowback on a potential handler. The access that this can give can be used to actively exploit or deliver potential attacks on the system. For example, delivering a malicious code directly to a ground system and potentially spread amongst the systems. Mitigation for this type of attack is limited, with protection mostly focused on protecting against potential breaches via limiting employee access to internal systems, such as compartmentalization, or stringent background checks, but this type of protection is limited.